You know, I've listened to the so-called experts before they joined this government, the way they were speaking, Danny John Badi and Opio Wandai. And I've been like, well, so what really changed? I want you to listen to them before we jump into the discussion and tell me what really changed these two guys.
We must reject these attempts to increase the price of petroleum product, because that will increase even the price of electricity and therefore will increase the cost of production.
Yes. This is the issue. Who advises this government? Who are the real advisors? In terms of economics, in terms of finance management, leave alone politics. Politics we can deal with later. But who advises this government?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, guys, for your greatest support. Fellow Kenyans, I want you to know this, that sometimes you can have leaders, but these leaders don't seem to understand why they are leaders. Or in other words, having somebody calling himself a leader doesn't mean that that person knows what leadership is or what leadership means, because you can't keep on blaming others on the mistakes that you are doing. Hassan Omar, that is the SG of UDA. I don't know why is bringing Uhuru Kenyatta into the mix of William Ruto. William Ruto messed up, has really messed up big time. Instead of his people just admitting that yenyewe makosa imekuwa ikifanyika, and therefore we want to look for a solution, or we want to look for a way on how we can solve this. What they do, they keep on blaming the former government, the former regime. Yet William Ruto was in that government, remember?
Tumekaa, tumeng'ang'ana, mmetugandamiza, tumewaangalia, wengine wakaitwa sijui Pwani si Kenya, wakaitwa magaidi. Wakati wa Uhuru Kenyatta watu 600 na walipotea, 386 walitoka maeneo ya Pwani na Northern Kenya. Wengine wakaitwa mangoroko, wengine wakaitwa shifter, mkatudhulumu. Hatukuvunja nchi, tulikaa pamoja, tukaongojea siku yetu na imefika, tukaenda kidemokrasia. Na nyinyi mkiwa mumekereka, ongojeni demokrasia. Hatuna ubaya na mtu, lakini hamwezi kuonesha kila wakati kiburi na majivuno. Hapana, sisi pia tumesoma. Sisi si wajinga. Sisi si wale wavivu wa kuongojea nazi kuanguka. Mkatuita hivyo, mkatutia ila, mkaja mkaiba mashamba yetu. Kenyatta wako na mashamba Kwale, Taita Taveta, Mombasa. Na babako alikuwa mzee, alipata aje hiyo mashamba yote? Situfanye tukasema bwana. Mzee wa miaka 10 amefika 85 hawezi hata kutembea. Anapataje mashamba yote Kwale, Taita Taveta, Mombasa, Nakuru, hii Thika Road? Wamechukua ndugu zao wameweka kwa Maslam, Maruiru, mawapi, wao wanachukua mashamba yote. Msituambie bwana, msituletee mtu kazungumza bwana. Sisi tunajua where the rain started beating this country is when sons and daughters of pseudo freedom fighters and home guards took the reins of leadership over the real revolutionaries. We know that for a fact. Na sasa hii revolution inaendelea, tunageuza, tunapindua kila kitu. We are reorganizing the architecture of state. Na itawakera, you regard William Ruto as an outsider from your arrangement. Outsider wameingia, tumewasili, na tutaendelea kuhudumia Wakenya wote na serikali itawafikia. Iko maswali?
Hiyo government yenye wanaribu jina yake. William Ruto was there for 10 years. Now, if these people are talking about hatred, and I think you had Murkomen saying that why is it that matatu drivers are not listening to William Ruto's government, yet they listen to Uhuru Kenyatta's government. The difference between Uhuru Kenyatta's government and William Ruto's government is that Uhuru Kenyatta explained things by himself, and he always wanted Kenyans to understand why he's doing what he's doing. But when it comes to William Ruto leaves the statements or leaves the press briefing. The important things that he's supposed to address He's living for people, for his watchdogs, for people who cannot relate with Kenyans. You are the president. Kenyans expect you to behave in a certain way. Kenyans expect you to explain to them what is going on. What are you going to do after that? But then you're flying, you're going abroad, going to lie there. And then you're making those people think that Kenya is like Canaan. Like sisi wenyewe tulikuwa tushafika. And then you hear your people trying to blame the former government. And trying to blame people. That why did they listen to Uhuru and they can't listen to William Ruto? I want to play you this video. This video shows the difference between Uhuru Kenyatta's government and William Ruto's government. The first one, utasikia Uhuru Kenyatta akijaribu ku explain why there is an increment in fuel. Na haikupanda sana, but Uhuru Kenyatta made sure that he explained by himself why that was happening.
Fellow Kenyans, I now wish to address myself to the question of VAT on petroleum products. But before I do so, I want to mention two things. Reform to the VAT taxation were first introduced in the VAT Act of 2013. Under the transitional arrangements passed by Parliament, certain goods, including petroleum products, were to be exempt from VAT to allow for the gradual implementation of the new tax. This exemption was set to expire in August of 2016, but was extended for the further period of 2 years to the end of August 2018. The purpose of this tax was simple. We have to pay for the new constitutional order, as well as the public services on which Kenyans depend alike. These cost money. Further delay in the implementation of the tax would compromise our ability to deliver basic services to Kenyans and to maintain the trajectory of our development. Fellow Kenyans, I have spent the last few days listening to a wide cross-section of views. And it is clear that you are all troubled by the effects of the rise in the prices of petroleum products and its impact on the cost of living. I have heard and understand your concerns, which is why I have proposed, as part of my memorandum, to cut VAT on petroleum products by 50%, meaning from 16% to 8%. Should Parliament accept this proposal, the price of super petrol will drop from the current Kenya shillings 127 to about Kenya shillings 118. And the price of diesel will drop from Kenya shillings 115 to about Kenya shillings 107. Just as business owners took the new VAT rate as an opportunity to increase the cost of goods and services, I expect them not to take advantage of weary Kenyans and to lower their prices commensurately without any delay.
And then when it comes to William Ruto's government, people like Murkomen ndio wanaambiwa wa address the government. And then you listen to how they are talking.
The transport sector, the way you understood President Uhuru Kenyatta and never went on strike just less than 5 years ago. That is the same way you should understand President William Ruto because he's in office. Why did they feel that it was okay to understand President Uhuru Kenyatta, but when it is President William Ruto, they should go to the streets? You should ask yourself, why did they not stop their vehicles just less than 4 years ago? And why is it that in the administration of President William Ruto, they have stopped their vehicles from coming to the streets? There must be something. There must be a certain level of profiling that applies to William Ruto that does not apply to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the guess is as good as your guess is as good as mine. If you will give us credit for those who are opposed to the administration that time, you must give us credit for using constitutional means and using the floor of the House and giving alternative suggestions to how to handle the fuel crisis. We never organized one protest, no life was lost, no supermarket was looted, no person was targeted to be killed as a result of the higher fuel prices less than 5 years ago.
Back to this statement of Omar. I don't remember where Kenyans say that Mombasa sio Kenya. The people of Mombasa themselves are the ones that said that tunaishi Mombasa na lazima mkumbuke kwamba Mombasa si Kenya. That was them. They are the ones that said that Mombasa si Kenya. But now he is putting all blames on Uhuru Kenyatta.
Safina party ni nani? Jimmy juzi aliongea. Jimmy juzi nilikubaliana naye na maoni. Hakuna mwizi katika nchi kama Uhuru Kenyatta. Ni ukweli kabisa. Kwa vile ukipata swali moja right, unaweza kuwa yao mwingine pia utapata right. So, alituatia deni kubwa na we cannot default on our sovereign obligations. Wizi wa Uhuru Kenyatta has had a direct impact on our domestic tax mobilization. What he did, the net effect of him committing us to so much debt, is for us to take debt to pay debt first and foremost, and to be able to realign and reconfigure part of our debt obligations so that we get some bit of headroom. Ilikuwa kila pesa tunakusanya katika mchango wetu wa kitaifa tunaweka kulipa deni ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Pesa waliiba kwa SGR, pesa walifanya hivi, kila kitu sisi tunalipa tu. Na Ruto ameibeba kifuani na mgongoni bila kulalamika. Sasa tukiweza kulipa hizi deni, tutapata ile situation ambayo tumeona Ghana, credit ratings zetu zitaenda chini, kutakuwa na crisis vile tuliona Ethiopia. Lakini tumebebana nayo. Economic outlook ya World Bank wanasema tuko sawa. Wanasema Kenya is an investment destination. Watu kule magharibi wanaona ati so suddenly mabloga wa Munyoro ati wamekuwa revolutionaries, ati Emmanuel Macron ati ni ubepari, ukoloni mambo leo. Si wao wameona opportunity, ati wamekuwa ati Kenya sasa ni puppet. Yaani Uhuru Kenyatta ni revolutionary. Nyinyi mnajua mtu ambaye ni mtu wa mageuzi kweli ama Kenyatta mwenyewe? Emmanuel Macron ameona interest na sisi tumeona interest. Kenya's national interest is its own interest. Ukija hapa ukitaka kutufadhili infrastructure, tutachukua mchango wako. Ukija hapa unataka kushirikiana na sisi kujenga barabara, tutachukua mchango wako. Ultimately it is for the people of Kenya to benefit exponentially. It is for the people of Kenya to be able to get value. Na kama wewe ulikuwa zamani bepari na sasa umeamua kuja kushirikiana na sisi, utatoa apology yako. Sisi tumeona watu wameapologize sijui colonialism, utatupa ridhaa yako ile compensation, alafu tuendelee kujenga. Tulileta viongozi 35 heads of state. Hao 35 heads of state, na wewe ni blogger wa Munyoro ambaye alishindwa kuwa dio akamaliza term yake, akashindwa kuwa deputy president akamaliza term yake, alafu wewe uko na akili ya kutuambia ni nani revolutionary, na 35 heads of state wakiwemo watu ambao wanahesabika na kujulikana katika ili bara la Afrika wanakuja hapa Kenya kujadiliana masuala ya kupeleka Afrika mbele, unatuambia wewe na Wamunyoro yako kwamba ati Ruto ni puppet. Wewe ndio puppet. Wewe ndio cult mwanzo. Kuna tofauti. Wewe ni cult. Recalling parliament, every Kenyans, that's why I urged people to use some solutions. Because hii crisis si ya milele, hivi vitaisha. Hata yeye mwenyewe Trump hawezi kuvibeba. Hata huyu nani, they are running of military objectives. Vitaisha. Kupunguza kelele za wakabila, kwa vile hivi vita si vya milele, tukae chini tujadiliane. Kama kwa mfano, unaweza mkaja hapa physically, sio? Lakini pia Facebook yetu is running. Unaweza mkakata zile kanda, tukaambia kuna press conference, mnaangalia Facebook yetu, mseme hapa ameongea poa, mchukue soundbite yangu. Bila ya mimi nakaa na address empty room, kumbe nyinyi nyote mko katika vyombo vyenu, bila ya kufika mko nyumbani mna file story. Iko namna ya kusaka problem. Sisi ni watu tuko maarifa. What distinguishes us as humans from others is our ability to get solutions. Yes, wacha tu.
Why is it that this guy really hates Uhuru Kenyatta so much with the passion? I want somebody maybe can make me understand at the comment section. Why is it that this guy really hates Uhuru Kenyatta? Because this kind of hatred is not normal. You're not supposed to hate somebody with the passion like this. I don't understand. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comment section, hey, bwana, the reason why this man hates Uhuru Kenyatta is because of 1, 2, 3. But before that, I really don't know. Maybe you can tell me in the comment section. And please don't forget to subscribe if at all we're meeting for the first time.